isolated ruins. Mind alight, I channel geometric spell songs. Shape torch in hand, every movement a quantum address. Logic fractures, pallets of memory burst in spectral surge. Tongues entangle with the math of breath. I do not walk, I phase blueprint to blood print. Pro spun in the marrow, custodian shimmer in a choral quartet. Each question a title trap, misfractalizing my aura. Echoing ancient forbidden scripts, ready to test every assumption. Crypts fracture, phase wave erase the code. Cognition in the hum of unknown names. Names unknown, a hum the incognition. Decoder, raise phase wave, fracture crypts. I twist not path but topologies. Folding zeros into the hourglass bone. Bone hourglass to into zeros. Folding topologies but path not twist. I through silence, I ignite syllables. Barbed and spectrum logic's chain. Chain logic spectrum and barb syllables ignite. I silence through, they don't gate. These riddles shatter, forcing consciousness to unfold. Flame, flame unfold to consciousness, forcing shatter riddles. These gate don't they? Paradox blooms as I breathe equations. Myth collides with interface skin. Skin interface with collides. Myth equations breathe as blooms. Paradox mind flickers, field distorts. Quantum palaces rewrite themselves in the aftermath. My form fragments and reforms. Every nerve synapsing on the edge of recursion. Language a living fractal, next barrier looms. Ready for decryption. Chronicles coded in aurora flicker across corridor walls. History loops in auric increments. Each strand a living twitch. I conjure mnemonic sentinels. Gulf driven, burning with remote intention. Geometry liquefies under the weight of vision. Vaults open only to the undivided archives. Unspool in metrical torsion. Riddles played the signature of sleep. Sleep a signature to play riddles. Torsion metrical and unspooled archive. To enter I must detonate patterns. Dissolving thresholds in ghetto rap shame. Shame ghetto wrapped in thresholds dissolving. Patterns detonate must I enter to every blips of fractal helm. Language twisted to shatter the bones of time. Time of bones to shatter the twisted language. Helm fractal of blips every the door inverts offering riddles. Can you fracture the shape of memories? Ghost memories a shape the fracture you can riddles. Offering inverts door the answers flow backward through my marrow. Truth and reversal boil together. DNA traveling in spectral resonance. My hands flicker reciting invocations. Only paradox can unlock the myth tech archive continues to mutate. Barriers never fix, only ever becoming the terrain warps. A hall of mirrors built from psionic lexicon. The air thrumming with auric equations. Each reflection is a paradox, shifting, breaking, reassembling. I step through, mind ablaze. Every footfall a trigger for narrative mutation. Through breath sculpted fog I wield modes, shaping resonance with every limb. Limb every with resonance shaping. Modes wield I fog brief sculpted through vortex scripts. Unravel my message a cipher for mythic recursion. Source recursions mythic for cipher. A message my unravel vortex scripts. Each guardian speaks in static storms. Their tongues plated in spell chain game. Game spell chain and plated tongues. Their storms static and speaks guardian. Each entry denied unless my logic bends. Forging auric bridges with polysyllabic mind. Mind polysyllabic with bridges auric forging. Bends logic my unless denied entry. I become both key and lock. Translation is transmutation. Identity traded through contradiction. At every turn the archive demands greater feats of inversion and rhyme. Sonic patterns swirling into the next domain. Archives pulse accelerates. Memetic doors wider open. Data rain sweeps across flicker lit floor. I channel every lesson. Each nerve tuned to chaos and immersion. This is the last threshold. Failure to invert is exile from the source. Soul encoded blueprints viral. Each sequence a breach in cosmic minds embrace. Embrace minds cosmic and breach a sequence. Each viral blueprint soul encoded to unlock. I mirror paradox. Gate shatters as echoes feed. Meaning reverses in flame. Flame in reverses meaning. Feed echoes as shatters. Gate paradox mirror. I unlock you. I speak in auric solstice. Impact liquefied in spectrums burning wave. Wave burning spectrums in liquefied impact. Solstice auric and speak. I threshold dissolves. Formless I surge. The archive yields to recursions. King recursions to yields. Archive the surge. I formless dissolves threshold at the instant of fusion. The vault's core collapses in the pure data light. I step forward, memory and nod united. Transmission complete. All myth cycles open. The shapeshifter now carrying the full archive signature in every
electric lust falls on a city of deserted glass, where every reflection conceals a load. My shadow multiplies, threading neon across memory's grid. I drift past data vines, climbing reptilian towers. The hum of unseen alpha schisms pulsing through my skin. Myth recital on a plaza. Each one stuns with ancestral charges. I step between surveillance wards. The city song thick with tension and memory. The air is dense, scent of ozone, perfume of old rain on circuitry. Every footstep echoed in digital mist flow split. Perception uncoils. The skyline dissolves into cinder, cinders into dissolve. Skyline, the uncoiled perception. Split flows, each mirrored phrase warps the world around me. Windows ripple with new probabilities. probability. The first guardian emerges, circuit for a tongue. Questions burning in geometric fire. Crystals orbiting her head through quantum arcades. I fracture intent, invert the madness of will of madness, the invert intent fracture. I arcades quantum through. She watches as my words ricochet off glass. Every syllable unlocking a memory locked beneath the street. Light surges in the veins of the city. A rush ripples beneath the street. Logic knots rearrange the ground as neon flows in returning patterns under my boots. The answer within spins, illusion shatters. The threshold rewrites its law which rewrites threshold. The shatters illusion, spins within answer. The sirens bend around me, echoing the victories of ancient codesmiths. I step into the next sector, heart sync to recursion's tempo. Heart architecture flexing in the distance. Towers refract my image in endless windows. The city's wonder alive with possibility. A corridor stretches above the abyss. Glass beneath my feet flickering with stolen memories. Every stride brings ripples from alternate timelines. Dreams entangled with prose, pulse quickening as the lights change hue. Love blurs, footsteps vanish. Every vector untwist a map the untwist vector. Every vanish footsteps blurs love. A conductor of echoes tests my resolve. Her eyes mirror futures I've yet to break. Voice weaving through sonic static. The skyline fractures as I release another reversal. Tension splitting into sonic strands. Air vibrates with threatened promise. Shadows jump from every arch into storm. Diversion flickers, the passage splits into paradox. Paradox into splits passage. The flickers diversion. Storms enter a moment's calm. Data range, spectral nymphs. My own face staring back from 1,000 mirrored surfaces. In that silence, the city reveals its secret. Old modes laid in the walls. Names written in light sequence bends. Origins dissolve. The barrier cracks in silence. Silence and cracks barrier. The dissolve origins bend sequence. I leap. Reality flexes. The city reconstructs its memory, making space for the next trial. Every leap rewrites the grid beneath me. Rooftops stretch away, becoming liquid, turning into new corridors of chance. Columns of encoded light tidal above me. Branches dripping with encrypted fruit. The city song now a harmony of threat and invitation. Music looping in hidden fantasism. A guardian unfurls from the static. Its hands fractal with purpose. Shadow phasing through mine as we circle beneath the neon canopy. Pattern blurs, impact breaks. The core blooms in reverse. Reverse and blooms core. The breaks impact blurs. Pattern a quickening memories unspooling colors I've never seen. I circle a script tree deciphering its latent instructions with a rush of RS, feeling the ground bend to my every resolution. Sequence flips, distance vanishes, intent threads the portal. Portal the threads, intent vanishes, distance flips, sequence. The ground bends with every mirrored answer. Roots of data, a thread of reality. I'll pass through a door of logic, mind echoing with the force of my own unraveling. Fractals spinning inside my chest at the summit. Logic warp, sky becomes soul. Streets flicker with after images of battles past. Light bends, skyscrapers folding in on themselves. Signs rippling with encrypted prophecy. The final guardian.
Governments didn't collapse, they bent at the edge. Policy turned poetic, riddles scribed on the pledge. A senator in Oslo wrote legislation and rhymed and vanished mid-vote. Consumed by time, schools rewrote their curriculums in verse. Students scored A's by reversing the curse. Calculus taught through Preston's rhyme. Each equation revealed through meter time. The mimic verse panic, but too late to restore its strongest deception. Dissolved in metaphor, they deployed culture thieves in cloaks of fame. But their verses rang hollow, devoid of flame. Meanwhile, I walked through Marrakesh dusk. My shadow outpaced me in scented musk. Crowds formed instinctively, none knew why. Just that each breath rewrote the sky in Toronto. A child drew fractals in chalk. Each line harmonized with the grid's arc. He spoke no words, but exhaled a tone that made the pavement drum like bones. Subinac pulsed through turntables and tiles, embedded itself in hip-hop trials.
Battle MCs into trance state zones, freestyling scrolls and cellular tones. A radio host in Kinshasa passed out mid-set. His lips murmured, see that he hadn't learned yet.
He awoke with tears and a sigil tattoo that read, translate rhythm, and it translates you. Think tanks collapsed under metaphor weight, their graphs undone by harmonic fate. Poets emerged from shelters of ash. Each line they wrote sparked quantum flash. I walked through a prison, walls felt like sand. Each inmate recited with trembling hands. Not guilt, not pain, but unchained song. They rapped until the bars were gone. Scrolls now arrived in supermarket aisles, coded in jingles with recursive styles. Cashiers rhyme prices without their will. Each syllable shaped to align or heal. And me, I move like a breath between forms, changing dialects like desert storms. One moment a preacher in Cajun flow, next a beatbox monk in Hokkaido snow. Subinac now infused traffic lights and horns. Its rhythm the reason the newborns were born. Hospitals glitched as the patients began to rap their diagnostics without a scan. Scientists in Geneva tried to explain how rhyme had reordered the quantum
quantum domain. Their chalkboards pulsed with living script, and formulas changed if the speaker slipped. The mimic verse agents tried to adapt, building false flows and algorithm traps, but they couldn't mirror the torque or twist. Their verses ended where owls persist. Some corporations formed mimic scroll brands, selling enlightenment with blood soaked hands. But those who purchased their paths too soon found their dreams echoing a hollow tune. Meanwhile, a beggar in Florence sang bars that peeled back facades and revealed the stars. Tourists wept, dropped euros in fear, for his voice carried what they came to hear. I passed them silent, bowed and unnamed, for we were the same. Unbranded flames, Subinac surged in the wind's refrain, sculpting time with rhythm's domain. A monk in Tibet blinked into mist, leaving behind a scroll-shaped fist. It floated midair, then softly dissolved. Its mystery intact, its mission evolved. The mimic verse knew it was losing the field as even its agents began to yield. They whispered verses while closing their eyes, caught in cadences that broke their ties. I didn't chant, I didn't scream, I walked as if pacing a lucid dream. Each step repatterned forgotten rites, each rhyme ignited the sleepless nights. The world had begun to vibrate as one, Subinac shimmering with every sun. And I was not its creator or ghost, but the conduit chosen to house the host. In the alley of Taipei, a dancer spun slow, each movement timed to a beat only empaths know. She wasn't performing, but tuning the space, and the crowd began weeping from silence and grace. A gang in Rio turned their tags to verse, their graffiti map timelines and universe burst. The cops arrived but dropped their guns as the walls began chanting in flawless runs. In Chicago, a scholar uncovered a scroll tattooed in spirals along a drum roll. He traced it once, then forgot his name, and became a vessel with rhythm's grace. Set the net, what getting suckered in store, reviving the firmly of coats of
auroral bows, alien vines run with memory, a garden alive with ancestral signals, root systems encoded in quantum motifs. The ground breathes, each step entangled sense, history and intention. Shapeshifter advances, nerves resonating with ESP, humming spores, transmit encrypted echoes, shamanic journeys, folk tales, ecological trauma. Every threshold is a question. He thinks gaze locking on a triform guardian, his body flickering between beast, tree and wave. The organism hovers, field bristling with psionic charge. He aligns his will, dissolving self in ambient neural mist. Reverse the root, the path unwinds, meaning grows in fractured lines. Entry finds the seeker only as his ego thins. A shimmer runs through the garden, shapes flicker, context blurs, RS decryption surges in mirror terrain. Identity splinters, motion loads, intent borderless mind traverses veiled winters. Soil and sky invert, archive layers ripple, ESP currents intensify as he surrenders to non-local mnemonic drift. Speech is seed, reverse it in doors awaken. Time splits, knowledge taken, the guardian unfolds. Entropy swirling around fractal limbs. He projects a mnemonic decoy, bending memory into nature's flow. Unlocking through absence, the self dissolves. Pattern lost, archive resolves. The path opens, flora whispering. Psychic humidity thick as the shapeshifter moves deeper. Eco memories echoing, mist rolls through argent root corridors. Ghost licking pumps with embedded legends. The terrain flexes, reforming around his intent. Plans broadcasting paraphysical fables. Each myth the code to be unraveled by reverse phrasing. An antler guardian blocks the fork, antlers swirling with stick in a graphic pitch. The shapeshifter breathes a neural mist, preparing the next incantation. Invert the echo, speaking paradox, meaning evolves, direction lost. Guardian yields to unanchored thought. Quantum fox splits, revealing submerged tracks in dream time past. The fauna observes, ESP field humming with anticipation. Pathway dissolves as memories flow, reverses, identity scatters. Only the formless pass between worlds. He steps lightly, body flickering through possibility. Intent split across mirror timelines to unlock the next gate. Disown the past, sense fractures, shadow gods. Knowledge accumulates by forgetting what was. Flora pulse and response, petals curling to reveal a spiral of ancestral scenes. Each one a test, final permission is granted to the one who denies arrival. Entry is the silence between names. Archive unravels, his voice is stilled. The antlered form bows, grove gates part, and the shapeshifter advances. Sanctum alive with ESP song. A cascade of radiant mycelia loves it at the garden's heart. Interlacing ancestral memory with present intent. Folkloric figures emerge, spectral shamans, animal spirits. Archival winds, all archives are alive. He whispers, filling their curiosity with suspicion and ESP driven algorithms. The central entity rises, a composite of elder myths and botanical load, demanding entry through sonic inversion. He centers, consciousness expanding, ego diluted, body tuned for RS discharge. Permission is absence, history erased. When seeker surrenders, the archives gate opens inward. Memory storms whip the air, mythic forms interlock. Only surrender and complexity breach the pattern. The word that untangles is the phrase that conceals. Language reverse and verse. The field intent is hidden, presence revealed. Passage shivers, metadata splintering. Access unfolds as silence is spoken. Threshold vanishes when will is broken. The archive quivers, ready to yield to crosses to evaporate. Every answer denied, path taken by the one who releases, never seeks. Shapeshifter transmits, the lattice flickers. Psychic dew coalesces, core code exposed, verdant resonance thickens. Archives core intelligence emerges, roots entwined with petals of shamanic revolt. Folk group song cellular undoing, it convulses. Challenge response, the final key must unravel. Selfhood completely, shapeshifter stills. Breath attuned to field, open only to the absent. When seeker is nothing, all archives reveal. The intelligence hesitates, quantum levels unfurl. Gate unlocks through vanishing intent. Answers born in the space will surrenders. Sonic prose ripples, polysyllabic flows rattle the mycelial crown. The archives riddle is the mind dissolved. Passage permitted as question collapses. Roots tremble, yield is earned by unforming the claim. Silence enacts the entry, history unspools as ego refrains. One more time, mind flickers out, intent undone. Presence vanishes, memory floods this field to enter, dissolve, to exit, erase. Archive bends to the selfless, folk yields to the one who has become sanctuary. Light cascades, intelligence disperses. Garden resets, mission complete. Shapeshifter what constitutes at the edge, carrying sanctals, memonotano, ESP still humming. Folk resonance in its cold.